Welcome back to the Clydesdale Media Podcast. I am Scott, she is Amy, and we have our special guest today, Andrea Solberg.
Hello.
Hello.
I've been trying that in the when we're off the air, and I hope I came close.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good. All right. So, Andrea, you have been in CrossFit for a very long time.
Yes, very long
Since
time.
2015.
That's correct.
So what drew you into the CrossFit space?
Well, I quitted gymnastics around 2014, 2015. And then I had my head set on going to medical school, so I wanted to just focus on school. But I also needed something to stay in shape with because we trained like 30 hours plus a week when I did gymnastics. So I saw CrossFit and I thought, oh, that's a good way to stay in shape while having a busy schedule for school and stuff. So and it also looked really tough, and I like it looked so intense, and that's what got my interest. And then I tried it, and first I thought I just gonna do this for exercise, and then I'm done with competing because I've done that my whole life. So I'm done with all the competing stuff. And then after 2 months, I signed up for the Open. So
yeah, because that inner athlete came out, huh?
Yeah, and it's been there since. So that's the short story.
So you were a very high level gymnast before all of this?
Yes, but I think I'm at a higher level at CrossFit than I was in gymnastics. I had a bronze medal from the national championship in gymnastics. That's probably the biggest achievement in gymnastics.
Because the first time I got to know you was at the Norwegian CrossFit Championships in 2019.
Or
I think it
2020
was.
maybe? The sanctional?
Yeah, the sanctional.
Yes, early 2020 in Storefjell.
And you dominated the gymnastics events at that event.
Yeah.
And ended up finishing second overall, correct?
Yes, after Gabby.
Yeah.
I had some big holes in my lifting that weekend.
Yeah. So I do want to get into that. You dominate gymnastics events. Your weakness is your strength.
Yes.
How hard is it to be patient? Because you cannot build strength overnight. It takes a lot of reps, a lot of time. And how do you stay patient through that process?
Well, they say it takes a long time, and then you see everybody else get strong. Then it's just me staying still on the same weights. I'm not kidding. For 4 years, I didn't have 1 kilo PR from, I think it was 2017 to 2021. I didn't increase my weights in any lifts for 4 years. But now, after I moved to Oslo, I got some time off school. Finally, all the strength work is starting to pay off. So now I'm increasing my kilos every month. And I don't know what happened, but something happened. Maybe I just took some time. But I've been really patient. When people complain about, oh, I've been PR for 6 months, I'm like, okay, come back in 4 years. Then you can complain to me. So it's good to finally to have some gains, even though it's far away from where I need to be. I feel like this year I have upped it enough to not fall off that much as I did the other years.
Did you change your nutrition during that 4 years to help with that, or was it just maintaining?
Yeah, I've gradually put on weight, like since 2016. I've gradually put on weight, but I think I put on more weight this year. So I know that's a big factor for like getting to lift more kilos now. But earlier I also put on weight without getting stronger. So I guess it's just really hard for me to build strength. But at the same time, I build my endurance is really good with no reason. I just need to see people breathe, and then I'm good at breathing. So
yeah,
I guess we are all lucky in one way or another.
Yeah, I can feel your pain because I'm coming off a back injury. And all of my lifts are way less than they used to be. Yeah. And there are days where I really have to like have positive self-talk because it's not getting better. And then all of a sudden you have a day where you're like, okay, now I see like the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's really frustrating when you don't when you can't do what you think you can do.
Yeah, but yeah, also it's like I worked so hard to like get progression, and it didn't happen anything. And it wasn't because I didn't do the work. It was just like nothing happened. So, but I hope your back is better now, though.
Oh, much better.
Yeah.
So you're with Krieger Training now. Were you with them the whole time, or not, or just when you got to Oslo?
So my main coach is Joachim Rygg, and he's the founder. Well, Christian is the founder, but he's the one programming the Krieger programming. So he do my personal training, and then I have I'm a Krieger athlete, so we're under the Krieger team. And then I have, of course, I do Krieger workouts in my training, but leading up to competitions, we do more specific training for me, and all my strength work is outside of Krieger. I started with Joachim in 2019, early 2019. And before that, I did training plan. So when I qualified for regionals, I did training plan, like a general programming. I also had some interaction with Yami and went to a camp in Iceland. But after 2019, I started working with Joachim, and I also started traveling to Oslo back and forth because I didn't live there. And then I had massive results with Joachim, so I haven't looked back since.
And now you live in Oslo permanently?
Yeah, I moved here in January. I have some time of school now, so I can only live here when I'm not at school. My hometown is Bergen. It's the other side of the country. So as long as I have time of school, I live here. I want to live here more, but the university decides how long I can take off.
So tell us more about your schooling. So you're going to medical school. So what's the goal?
Oh, of course, I'm going to finish it. I'm really close. It's just I'm 4.5 years done.
Okay.
So it's 1.5 year left with studies, and after that you go to I don't know what you call it in English, but it's like you go out and do your practice and also getting paid, but you're not certified yet. So you have someone you can ask, and so you need to do that for 1.5 years, and then you get your certification. So I have 1.5 years left, but then it's normal to go straight to that clinical practice. So I won't finish it now because then it will be really hard to get to the practice afterwards. So that's why I feel like I need to do CrossFit now, and then work I can do later.
Do you have a practice or area that you're planning on specializing in?
No, not yet. I haven't found a way in the health system that really gets to me right now. I think it's really I like the human body and everything, but I feel like I have to tend more to preventive healthcare rather than fixing. If you know what I mean. I don't know how to say it in English. But,
functional medicine.
Yeah, focus on persons that want to get better at something. Maybe it's not what we need, but I think that's the most interesting thing to do, and prevent injuries and sickness rather than just fixing them with an easy solution afterwards.
Yeah, I think that is one of the biggest problems in our country is that we put Band-Aids on medical issues instead of fixing the root problem.
Yeah.
Which, and we're actually going to have Julie Fouché on next week.
Yeah, I really like her philosophy. I think that's where I get my motivation or inspiration from, because it's like fixing the root problem and making sure that people have a good health. It's so much more important than just giving some pills and then you will be back in a couple of months.
Yeah. We follow her a lot. She was actually Amy and I's L1 instructor.
Oh, nice.
So we've been friends with her for years, and we can't wait to talk to her about all that.
Yeah,
so that's what I was going to ask you. With all of your athletic background, that seems to be the perfect fit for you as the functional medicine.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope to combine them in one way when I'm done with this competing. Not now.
Yeah. So you made the games in 2020, and that year you kind of got cheated because of COVID.
Yeah.
And didn't get to go in person. You had to do it online. Are you a better in-person competitor or online competitor?
If you asked me 2 years ago, I would say in person. But this year, something happened because I didn't compete for many years, and I thought I was good at live competitions, and then I showed up at semifinals, thought I was in good shape, or I was in good shape. Me and Matilda tested all the workouts at CrossFit Oslo, and I was like, okay, we're right there, both of us. She's stronger than me though. And then I came to semifinals and nothing worked. So it's just too long time of live competition because I've been to school the last 2 years. So this year I have been better on online competition or general just training. I have been at a really high level because my coach has a lot of insight in what scores people get here and there. And then when I got to the live floor, I did some competitions in the summer as well. I just didn't find my how to like push the way I did in training. So when we came to Rogue, that's where we realized that I need to do the same thing in real life competition as I do in online competitions. Because at Rogue, I was just like, we just did it spontaneously because we didn't thought I was going to qualify. And then we saw, okay, so just have to do what you do in training, and then that's a really good result, as we saw in Rogue. And this weekend we had the national championship, which is kind of big in Norway since the Norway girls are in such a high level. And then my coach said, I want you to do the mindset that you do in training and in online competitions. I want you to do that on the competition floor this weekend. It might go wrong. We just use it as an experience. It's no emergency if you don't perform well. We just have to try it. And then suddenly this weekend I was back and I took the gold. And then I finally felt the Andrea on the live competition floor as I had in 2019 and 2020 when I qualified for the games. Because then I was really good at live competitions. So I think we are about to figure something out now. So that was a long answer to your question. But
No, I love that answer. And it actually is a perfect segue because functional fitness is huge in Norway. And it's starting to grow in other parts of the world. And you have the last world champion, Kristen Holte, won the world championships right before she retired. We talked to Matilda about that as well. And I don't know if you watched her episode yet, but she had a message for you. Oh. So I clipped it out and I'm going to play it. And then when it's done, we'll come back and talk.
That's nice.
Sorry, I have a pop-up that's blocking me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a pro at this.
First, congratulations with being the national champion in Norway. We had a competition this weekend in functional fitness. That's really, really well deserved. She's an amazing athlete. And I can't wait to go to Rogue together with her. She's an amazing girl. And yeah.
Oh, Matilda, she's so lovely. We really got to know each other better when I moved here, and I think we're just grown together closer. We have a really healthy relationship when we compete and train because we support each other and cheer for each other no matter what, even though we're in the same competition. So yeah, I really look forward to going to Rogue with her as well.
Yeah. So you won the national championship. You took the gold. Yeah. That means you get to go on to, I think they call it the World Cup of Fitness.
Yeah, I think we should call it the World Championship. I don't know what I call it.
Okay.
We just say World Championship here in Norway. It's in Mexico.
Yeah, when I read about it, they called it the World Cup. I thought that was soccer or football, as you guys call it. But I was going to go with it. Are you excited for that? And how important is that national championship to you? And how cool is it going to be to represent Norway at the World Championships?
Like I said, the national championship is kind of not important. That's why we could experience with it. But at the same time, it is important because it's the biggest formal competition that we have in Norway. And also all the top girls are there. So it's not only Matilda, I also have Lina and Seher and all of the other games athletes competing there. So it's kind of what you put into it. But we decided to like prioritize it, but not like prioritize it in front of like strength training and games and stuff. But then when we saw the workouts, it's like, okay, just go in. We try to do the best competition we can with the new mindset, and then we see the results from there. And I knew that I probably was going to Mexico, but you're no guaranteed. until after the championship. So I'm really proud to make it. And also Mexico will be fun. We don't know what we're going into, but I've been competing for Norway before. In 2018, me and Matilda was on the same team, and then we took the team gold. And then last year, I was also invited to go to the World Championship, the one that Kristin won. But I just had surgery. Actually, it's 1 year ago today since I had my knee surgery. So then I just said no because I didn't want to rush it and injure my knee again. So it should be fun to go back to. We have to go to World first.
So what kind of knee injury did you sustain?
No, it's my meniscus. I've been having trouble with them for many years. It runs in the family, so I still have trouble with it. But last year I had like this piece that was getting loose, so it's floating around in the knee. So they had to take that one out, and I also had a tear. They were supposed to like sew it or stitch it. I don't know what you say in English. But it doesn't have any vascularization, so they just needed it to be there. So now I'm just using my knee with the tear. So we have to like adjust all the squats and the running. So that's also a big issue for me, having consistency in my squats during these years because of the meniscus problems. But right now it's really good. I think my strength gains have been protecting my knees more.
So I'm curious, because I had 2 meniscus problems, and you say it's a family problem. So was it because it's a discoid meniscus, or is it just lots of people in your family have had the same kind of issue?
Yeah, the last one. My father's brothers, none of them have any meniscus left.
Okay.
They're taking everything out. They don't have knees left.
Wow.
So I just need to have my meniscus there as long as I can.
Sure. Or not.
Yeah.
So it's funny, Amy always would brag because she had a thick meniscus, and that's why too much thickness.
Oh, too much. Okay.
And we would be at the gym, and she would have an issue, and all of a sudden it would lock up, and she couldn't bend her knee.
You were stuck.
Yeah, I was stuck.
Just kind of stuck there.
That's not good. That happened with me last year, or also when I had the small piece. When it moved in the wrong space, my knee just locked, and I'm like, no.
Yes.
Oh, it's not fun.
No. So
and when it finally tore, she was doing. Go ahead and explain what happened when it tore.
I was coaching a class, and I had a PVC pipe, and I was demonstrating a PVC pipe thruster, and it tore during a thruster with the PVC pipe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
All recovered and moving on.
Did you have surgery?
I did.
When?
2018. I had 6 months apart. I had them both
done. And now it's good.
Yeah, totally.
No problem at all.
No problem.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah. So when you do all this traveling to Mexico, to Rogue and all that, how do you prepare yourself as far as like adjusting to the temperature changes or adjusting with your food and sleep and all that? How do you prepare your body for those kinds of changes that are out of your control?
Well, that's a good question, because I have to start to think about that, because I haven't traveled that much outside of Europe competing, because I didn't go to the games in 2020, so I didn't get the experience there. I had one competition in Argentina late 2019 where I got a little bit a taste of that. I think I managed well, but I also got sick that week, so I don't know if it was like, I don't think it was the optimal lead up to the competition in Argentina because of everything that happened prior to the travel. But now me and Matilda and Simon and Joachim are working closely at CrossFit Oslo, so I think Simon would help us, and like this you should do, and we'll travel like ahead as much time we can ahead, and then just try to adjust to the time zone. Temperature is not so much we can do about because it's cold here now. So and food is just try to find the same type of food as you find at home. I think Mexico will be more challenging than Rogue, because in the States you can find the things we have in home. Mexico, I don't know. Try to not get food poisoned.
So we talked to Matilda earlier this week, and she talked about the adjustment in time zones
Mm,
from Norway to Wisconsin, and
mm,
how the 10 days she went prior to were not enough to
mm.
get her acclimated to the new time zone.
Yeah, I know.
So how tough is that, knowing that? And I asked her the same question. Do you change your training schedule to kind of try to combat it before you even leave, or do you do something different?
Maybe we should try to train a little bit later in the day, in the last weeks leading up to the competition. It's a 3-day competition, so I'm choosing to not get too caught up in time zones and everything, and just trust that my body is prepared to perform whenever it needs. I did like 5 competitions this summer, and for one reason or another, many of the events started 10, 11 in the night. It was super late. Normally, I go to bed 9:30. So competing, and we had a 5K run in Belgium 10:30, and all of those events have gone well. So I just say to myself that I will be able to perform whenever I need. I just need to sleep well ahead of the competition, because when I compete I don't sleep, so it doesn't matter, as long as I'm rested before we go. I trust my body to be ready when it has to be.
Yeah, I never sleep the night before a competition.
No, but also after, when we had like this late events, I will stay awake to 4 before I go to sleep, and then I wake up at 6 because I'm a morning person. It's just it's
That's
just how it is,
crazy.
and I've accepted it. So I won't sleep more if I'm stressing about it. So.
Yeah, I think we talked to Amanda Barnhart a while right before the games, and she said like her first couple trips, she tried to acclimate because she's a very early morning person and an early to bed person.
Mm.
And she found that trying to acclimate was worse than just dealing with it through the games week.
Yeah, I think the same, because I don't. I'm waking up when I'm waking up whenever. So my body doesn't want to adjust that much. So just rest whenever you can and perform the way you know you can.
Yeah. So I also read that at one point in your career, and I don't think it's now, you said you were not chasing the CrossFit Games. You were just competing for fun. And I think it's when you were more dedicated to schooling than maybe CrossFit.
That's good.
What happened to change that perspective?
I guess so between 2017 I went to regionals individual, and after that regionals until 2019 I was like, okay, school is the most important thing, but I can do both. So I did like try to balance it, and had some competitions going well, some competitions not going well. My strength did not increase, and then I was just like, I'm gonna do this for fun. And then in 2019 we had like this option to take 6 months of school, because our class were separated in 2, and they didn't have space enough on the university to have both continue. So most of us, the youngest ones, we chose to have 6 months off. And then I decided, okay, so now I've been chasing going back to regionals and all the stuff, and I haven't been succeeding with it. So now I'm going to take 6 months. I'm going to do as many competitions as I can, and I'm going to have much fun. That's the only thing I'm going to do. No goal of anything. And then suddenly I went to all this competition. I took a lot of gold medals. I performed well in the Open. And then I went to Filthy 150 in Ireland. And suddenly I had a games ticket. And I didn't have a goal to have that games ticket that weekend. It wasn't until Sunday, when people sent me a picture of the leaderboard and they're like, you're on the ticket spot, I realized that, shit, I'm going to the games. So that's how it happened. After that, I went to Argentina, and also Norwegian CrossFit Championship. And then the goal starting to build up again, because then I had the ticket. I showed that I was a good athlete again. And then after that, I think I've been chasing more goals, because when you achieve something, you want to achieve more, right?
So in that sanctional year, you finished top 5 in 3 of the sanctionals, I believe.
Yeah. And I also had 3 gold medals on the competitions outside of the sanctionals in the same period. So it was crazy. I didn't do anything else than competing. So that was the period when I was good at live competitions.
Well, and your name was mentioned as one of the up and comers that were going to hit the stage and running. At this point, are you still in medical school?
No, that was the 6 months that I had off. And then,
but then after that, you went back.
So, and then after I had like my games ticket, late 2019, I decided, I'm going to take 6 months more off to lead up to Madison, to prepare and go to Oslo to train for Madison. So I told my school that I wanted more time off, like 3 days before the whole country went to lockdown. And then I couldn't stay in Oslo because of the lockdown. And then I said to my school, okay, but then I want to go to school, because if I just have to sit home and do everything on a computer, I can still do it in training for the games. And then they say, no, you can't go back to school now because you already said that you want the time off. So those months, first month of Corona, I just sat home in my parents' house and I trained in the garage alone for 4 months, and I had no school or nothing to do. And then we didn't go to the games. So I was not in school. I was just sitting home and training in my garage, waiting for us to hear if we're going to Madison or not. And then they just postponed everything, and we had the games in September. And then I started school again because I didn't want to sit home and waste my life. So I went back to school 2020, and then I did school for 1.5 years, and then I took a break now in 2022 again.
Okay. And do you find it like impossible to be good at functional fitness and CrossFit at the same time you're going to school?
No, it's not impossible. I have some results at the same time. It's just that since we're becoming doctors, we have to be so much at the hospital. So it's more like the physical appearance. You have to be there, so you don't have time to travel and do all those stuff, types of thing. And also my recovery is really bad. So I think that's one of the biggest things how I got stronger this year, is because now I have time to recover. I don't have to run in the hospital all day, using my legs for unnecessary steps and stuff. And I also stress a lot because I'm that type of person that wants to achieve things and push my limits. So I really stress to do everything well, and then I think it's too much. So I have progression in CrossFit, even though I do school, but it can't be compared because now I'm like 100% focused on performing every day at the training. And that's how I want it to be.
Like, people like you just blow me away, because like when I was getting my master's degree, I almost got a divorce because I couldn't even like spend time with my family. And yet you're still competing at the highest level and at a higher degree than I was even trying to achieve.
Yeah, but I think people give more credit than necessary, because we balance it. But I don't compete at that level during my most busy time at the school. So you just need to like find the ways how you can have low stress in one area and then big stress in another, and then change it up.
I'm still going to give you credit.
Thank you.
So the reason we have you on here is because you have qualified for the Rogue Invitational.
Mm-hmm.
One of the premier events in the CrossFit season.
Mm-hmm.
And how cool is it that the event you qualify for has a travel stipend, has every athlete gets prize money, no matter where you finish, known for some of the biggest swag giveaways of any place. Are you really excited for that opportunity?
Yeah, it's really fun. Like all the swag and stuff is just like a bonus for me. It's just a statement and a confirmation for myself that I'm getting back to the level that I want to, and also finally getting that trip to the States that I never got. So being financially supported by the competition is really cool. And also I think it's kind of fun because we didn't actually try to qualify when we did the workouts. We just like, let's just do it for fun. We need some competition now, and then both me and Matilda qualified. So that's really a big dream. And also I think it's quite funny that it's known for a strength competition, and I managed to qualify because it's probably the last thing I thought I was going to qualify to, because they have a lot of heavy stuff in the competitions. Kristin told me that she has never been like super happy with the events down there because it's so much heavy. So I think it's a really good practice for me to compete with the top athletes in those events, because at semifinals next year, it's those events that I need to stay in my own lane and focus on getting to maximize my performance, because the other people are going to be so much better than me, and I need to just do whatever I can to perform my best. So I think it will be a really good learning experience to go to Rogue, because I know that I'm not at the top there. So how much can I get out of what I have when we go there in October?
Have you been to the States before?
Yes, 3-4 times, but never competing. I went to watch the games in 2018, but after that I haven't want to go to watch. I just want to compete.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions too. About, it's known as a power output event because they want to feature their equipment. And so you always have echo bikes, and you have sandbags, and you have. Now you say strength is not good. What about odd objects and like strongman stuff?
It really depends on the object. Like some things I can be really strong at, because like my deadlift is really high, and some things I'm really strong at, but some things it's just like maybe even more worse than the Olympic lifting. So it's going to be a good challenge to see. I think I gain confidence is just getting English and just getting stronger at everything. So I want to use that confidence to show that I can lift more things and objects and weights that I thought I could when I get down there, because that's what I've been doing the last couple of months.
Did you watch last year's event on TV or stream?
A little bit of it. I was in school, so I couldn't watch everything.
Did you see the hill they built?
Yeah, and I also heard that it was deeper than it looked like. But from where I'm from in Norway, but where I'm from in Norway, you don't find any place with more higher and deeper mountains. And before I got my meniscus injury, I ran up those mountains every week. So I kind of like steep hills, even though I'm not that good as I was before when I was lighter and skinnier. I like going upwards. So I wouldn't mind if they put it there again.
Yeah, just to give you an indication, I volunteered last year, and we took a picture on the hill. And when you sat down, you slid down the hill.
That's fun.
Yeah. So yeah, it was that steep. And who knows, they may not build that this year.
No. Prepare for the unknown.
Yeah, exactly. So it's you and Matilda coming over together. And do you have plans to have like fun while you're here?
Yeah, so we're going like 1 week ahead, traveling together. Finally, it makes everything really more exciting because we're doing this together, living in the same room. And then when competition times come, we separate to focus more recovery. And then we order 2 or 3 days more to be in Texas after the competition to have fun, because we're not going to have that much fun leading into the competition. Then we're just going to focus on training and recovery. So I think we will have some fun, and then Simon has got in charge to find out what we're going to do those days in Texas after the competition. Do you recommend anything?
Well, that's my next question. Is I read on an old 10 questions you did for Barbend magazine that the foods that you like to engage in are fajitas and burritos.
Yes, that's still a favorite. Put it in a wrap, and I'm sold.
You are in the heart of Tex-Mex food.
Yay!
Right? Lots of tacos, lots of burritos, lots of all of that stuff.
Yeah, you should be very happy.
Okay, then I know what we're going to do those days.
And my wife and we went out for Mexican like 3 times when we were there. And every time it was better than any place I've ever had it before.
Okay, maybe you have to send me names on those restaurants.
Okay.
Or do you think every restaurant is good?
Everyone we went to was good.
Okay.
That was like that kind.
Okay, maybe send me the names.
Torchy's Tacos, though, is the best taco place.
Okay, Torchy's Tacos.
Because they have all kinds of tacos, like smoked beef brisket to salmon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I know my food.
Yeah, I believe so. Me and Matilda likes good food.
Yeah, you'll have plenty of that there. And they're also known for barbecue there. But I knew you were more of a Mexican person.
Yeah, but I also like barbecue. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So barbecue and Mexican, that's all over the city.
Oh, nice. That's perfect for me. And then we have some chocolate for dessert, and then we're good. Then I have everything.
Yeah. Yeah. You will have your cake and eat it too.
Okay, perfect.
So I looked at the qualifier. You did really well. You had 3 top 4 finishes, including an event win. Because if you get to flip upside down, there's a good chance you're going to win.
Just let me use my hands. Let's stay upside down. Usually
so those strict handstand push-ups, you whipped through them, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was a rowing workout for me.
Yes.
Yeah. Matilda was like, oh, it's 75 split handstand push-up. And I was, oh, it's like 125 cal row.
And then, of course, your worst finish was the clean and jerk ladder.
Yeah, and I did the workout twice. It was horrible. I got 1 rep more next time I did it. And you have to weigh and measure the weights for like 30 minutes because on that workout you had like 5 barbells. But I just want to know that I did everything because when we first did the clean and jerk workout, it was a bit stressed at the gym because we were close to the class starting. So my warm-up were not that good. And then my coach said, I feel bad that we didn't have the proper lead up. So I want you to redo the clean and jerk on Sunday because that's the workout that's going to decide if we qualify or not. That was after we did the other workouts. And then he saw, okay, this is going really well. Maybe we might have to do some more clean and jerks. And now she has gotten so strong. So she can do more clean and jerks. But I was so tired that Sunday. My back was blowing up after the step ups. So I did the clean and jerks twice, and I got 1 rep more. But maybe I got some more points for doing that.
Isn't that the worst when you do a workout and you get like 1 rep?
Yeah, it's a 1 rep.
Better than less.
Yeah, but it's like 1 rep at 84 kilos. It's pretty heavy for me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it is what it is. Then I knew that I have done everything I could.
That's true.
Yeah, true.
When you train, do you prefer to train with other people or do you like to train by yourself?
I prefer to have people like, that's what's good about Oslo. We have so many people at a high level.
We lost your mic.
Oh,
there you go. Yeah, you're back.
Okay. So what I was talking about that we have a good people in CrossFit Oslo because of the high level, but I don't necessarily prefer to do the same workouts as them all the time because it's too much competing and not focusing on staying in your lane and doing what you need to do. But I like having them in the same room because we all just work hard together and cheering for each other. So sometimes we do workouts together, but mostly we just do it in the same room. And that's working really well for me. Me and Matilda did 1 or 2 of the Rogue qualifiers head to head, but I forgot that she was there next to me because I was just so focused on doing my job. But it's something about feeling that other people are doing the same thing as you.
So how tall are you?
164 centimeters. I don't know. In your scale, 5 something.
Compared to Matilda, because she's like the tallest female athlete.
I think she's 10 centimeters higher than me.
Okay, so
5'4".
I've never seen you in person.
I'm 5'4".
5'4".
I'm 5'4".
5'4". Okay, So when you guys stand side by side, is it a big difference between the two?
Yeah, well, she's taller
Yeah.
than me. Before I was also skinnier, but she was also skinnier, but now we both have got some gains. So I think you're just like, she's a little bit taller and longer, and I'm a little bit smaller and wider, maybe.
I wasn't going for wider, but I just,
No,
the
it's like,
discrepancy between the two.
yeah, it's like 10
Um,
centimeters. So it's
for you
little
two
bit.
being so close,
Yeah.
and you're very different athletes because of that.
Mm.
Because there are things that you are naturally good at
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah, well, like in the Rogue Qualifier, I did well at the things that she didn't do well in, and then she did well in the things that I didn't do well in. So she crushed the step ups because she's so good at step ups, and she also has long legs. So I watched her doing the step up, and I was like, oh my god, it looks so easy. And then I was doing the step up, it looked like a max lift every time I went to the box, and we did like 140 of those. And then also she's really good at power cleans. So the clean and jerk workout was she crushed that one, but then she's not as good in strict hands and push-ups, and she has a longer way on the front squats. So that's where I got my money.
Yeah, it's like when I was at Granite Games this year, and Colton Mertens was beside Brent Fikowski.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just is that picture out on the
Yeah.
floor, that because Colton is shorter than you,
Yeah,
and
it's not
Brent
that
is
big
taller
difference
than
between me and
Matilda.
Matilda. Yeah, I don't think it's that big difference between me and Matilda, but
No.
I get your picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually the front squats wouldn't be good for me because my legs has always been so weak. But since I've been increasing my weights in the squats, that workout was actually more better than expected, because front squats and thrusters has usually been a weakness in workouts for me. But now I think I've gotten so strong that it won't factor like those types of weights. So I was really happy with that workout, because that weight on high rep front squat would usually scare me a lot 1 year ago. But now I felt like it was really doable to push the workout. So that was fun.
Yeah. I actually read somewhere where you stated that front squats were your least favorite movement.
Yeah, but not anymore.
But getting better.
Yeah, not anymore. I actually enjoy every front squat session now. So now I don't know what's my least favorite movement, but it's not front squat anymore.
And your favorite is anything on your hands or burpees?
Yeah, it's handstand walk and burpees. I think it's my highest favorite.
So what is your goal going into Rogue this year?
I want to stay in my own lane, and I want to do things that I thought I wasn't capable of, especially strength-wise, because that's what I've been doing so much this year, working and having progression with my strength. So I want to perform the best I can down there, no matter who the other competitors are and what the workouts are. I want to see how much I can get out of me as a person with that shape I have in October.
I love that inner focus.
Mm.
So Norway has blown up on the CrossFit scene.
Mm.
Oslo Navy Blue taking second at the games.
Mm.
You've had Kristen Holte, you've had Jacqueline Dahlstrom, you've had Matilda, yourself.
Mm.
How cool is it? And what is that national pride that Norway's becoming the new Iceland?
It's growing. It's like we get so much closer now as well. Like in the weekend also, this weekend when we had the national championship, it's like we grow more together. We support each other more, and then I think it makes us even more better. So I think people should watch out, because we're building each other up, and I think that's also the recipe to getting as good as we do. Cheering for each other, but it's really cool. It's really fun that Norway is having so many good girls.
So at Rogue, you get all the swag.
Mm.
You're going to have a ton of exposure
Mm.
because there's only 20 athletes in the field. So everybody watches both heats. How excited are you about all of that? All of the side stuff?
Not so much. I really don't like the media side of things. I don't know. No. I really like to listen to podcasts and follow the media in CrossFit. I follow it every day, like YouTube, the podcast, Instagram, everything. But I don't like to have to be on Instagram as an athlete because I find it really stressful putting everything out there. So I often take I take a week and then I delete the Instagram app because I don't like to be on there. And then I have to reload it and answer questions, and I have to do my work because of sponsors and stuff. So it's fun sometimes, but I have a lot of potential to be better at that side of the sport, because my focus is so much on what I do in the gym and what I do in the competitions that I don't want to have the focus to be on the internet and exposing myself. So the covering at Rogue, it's like, okay, it's good for my sponsors, but for me as a person, I don't think it matters that much.
Yeah. But if you want to be, well, like you have a really good backup plan.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're going to be a doctor.
Yeah.
But for a lot of athletes who want to make this a living,
yeah, I know,
being able to do CrossFit, they need to use the Instagram. And I'll tell you, I could have guessed you would answer that way, because as I was researching you, it is hard to find stuff on you because you don't put it out there on Instagram.
I put out as much as I have to, and when I have periods when I think it's fun. But also, this is my living now, so it's up to me how much money I want. It's just, I'm trying to find a balance between it. And I understand how people need to do it. It's just, for me, it takes a lot of focus away from the training. So I do much more less good in training when I focus a lot on the media side. So I try to separate it more. Maybe if I film on training, I can put it out another day, then it won't disturb me during my session. And in competitions, when I know that I have to put something out and I don't want to be on media, sometimes I just ask another person to do it for me, to put it out there. So I'm figuring it out. But this weekend before the national championship, I had 10 days off, and I was like, I think you sent me the message also during those days. So if it took 5 days to respond, you know why.
Well, and all of your posts are about your sponsors. Like there's very little that's just like, hey, I did this today and it was awesome.
Yeah, my stories are more like that. So when I do stories, like today, I published something about my knee injury and the process and everything. So I do that mostly on the stories, but not so much on my posts.
Yeah, and they disappear in 24 hours.
Yeah, that's true. But
so when I'm trying to research you, there's, you know what I mean? Yeah. I see Noko and I see bear bells and I see all of that, but no, but it's all good. I understand.
Yeah, you can ask me now. I like to be on podcasts. I like to speak to people. So if you want to know anything, just feel free to ask.
No, I've had a blast, and we don't want to take up too much of your time. But and I really truly understand. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I know I should be better. It's it's an area that I need to be better at. I just don't like it that much.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can do this. We've talked to Matilda during Rogue. We're going to do some update shows.
Yeah.
Because you only do two events a day, and they have the strongman stuff that goes in between. Maybe we'll get in touch with you guys and have you guys on live from Rogue.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Tell our viewers what it's like down there.
That would be really fun.
And you can give us a food review of the Tex-Mex food that you have.
Yeah, that would be perfect. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for jumping on with us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to try it one more time. Andrea Solberg.
It's getting much better every time.
Okay.
It's just like this, Andrea. You hear the R? Andrea. Almost.
Andrea.
Yeah, better.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like your strength. It's going to take me 4 years to get it down.
1 month, 4 weeks. Then you have it. But it was better.
Right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for jumping on with us, Andrea.
Thank you.
We look forward to talking to you at Rogue, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.